This is baking sourdough bread with Tom. The new starter requires half a cup of sourdough starter, half a cup of water, bottled, no chlorine, and a cup of bread flour. And this week I'm making 2 of them because I promised one to Rick Kilgore. Mixing the flour and the bread starter and the water to make a new starter. And this part is hands-on. Mixing the flour into the water and the previous starter. Again, this is sticky, so use some flour on your fingers. So one of the new starters is completed. Now I'll repeat the same process for the second one. Now the 2 new starters are completed, so we can move on to preparing the dough for the bread. Now the 7-day starter is divided up into 3 cups, so the first thing you do is make the new starter for next week, otherwise there won't be any bread next week. I remove the sourdough starter from the jar and divide it up into the half cup measuring spoons that I have ready. The sourdough starter is sticky, so I use rice flour on my fingers and place it into the half cup containers. Now I'm using a large mixing bowl from my grandmother back in the early 1900s to mix the bread dough. So first we're putting in the starter, a half cup. And we're mixing it with 1.5 cups of water. We'll mix it to get it nice and uniform. I'm adding 2 teaspoons of sea salt. And And then we'll add 4 cups of bread flour. That's 1. That's 2 cups of bread flour. That's 3 cups of bread flour. And that's 4 cups of bread flour. So now the dough is becoming very stiff and difficult to work with, trying to get the flour completely blended into the dough. So I'm going to have to get my hands involved. This is the dough. Now I'm going to cover the bowl with a damp towel and let it sit for 2 hours. Every 30 minutes for 2 hours, I stretch and fold the dough up into the center, working all the way around the bowl. Do this 4 times, and then it's going to sit overnight covered with a towel in the refrigerator. Good morning. The dough has rested for 12 hours. Now we're going to look and see what it looks like in the bowl. It has risen nicely. So I prepared a floured surface. So now I'm going to coax the dough out onto the floured surface. Now that the dough is rested for 30 minutes, I'll fold it toward the center again. Now I'm going to place the dough in the flour-lined towel in the bowl. I will cover it again with a damp towel, and it's going to sit in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours. Good morning. This is the fun day. We get to bake the bread today. I'm preheating the oven to 550 and the cooking pot to 550 as well. I've removed the dough from the refrigerator where it's been for 24 hours. Now I have inverted it on a piece of parchment, and scored the top of it. So we're waiting for the oven to get preheated, and then it will go into the pot and into the oven. Okay, the oven and the cooking pot are preheated to 550 degrees. I'm going to take the pot out, put the bread in the pot, in the parchment, and then cover it and put it in the oven for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I will take the lid off and bake it for another 10 to 15 minutes. So here we go. So here it goes into the oven. I reduced the oven temperature to 450 now, so it'll cool down gradually. Okay, 30 minutes is up. I'm going to remove the cover and lower the heat to 400. We'll go for 10 minutes and see if it's golden brown. Okay, time is up. It looks good. So we'll remove it from the oven. Gotta gently lift it out onto a cooling rack. And that's it. Maybe I can give her a closer view. The Lord has blessed us with fresh bread. Thanks for watching.